Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good day, hello, hola, bonjour, buenos dias, konnichiwa, wherever you are, whenever you are, whatever you are. I'm here right now on YouTube, and you can call me Wonder Bread. All formal greetings aside, let's get to the real reason I'm here right now. Today I'm going to introduce you to my Bible. I'm not referring to the Christian Bible or the Catholic Bible or any other Bible of any kind that you would consider a Bible. I'm just not that big of a religious person. In fact, you'd probably be able to consider me one of the least religious people you've ever seen or heard. Well, due to my lack of camera, you'll probably never see me. To quote Douglas Adams, as I will a lot in my upcoming videos like this, it's not that I don't believe that God exists, it's that I'm convinced that He's not exist. It's not any biased kind of choice, it's just that I have yet to see any proof. You can say that forests and mountains and the Grand Canyon are God's proof, but I've learned how each of those happened by the second grade. And I've yet to see anything that I can't explain. And if I can't explain it, it's probably been photoshopped. Anyway, to get to the real reason I'm here, this is my Bible. The ultimate hitchhiker's guide to the galaxy. In fact, I don't just consider it my Bible, I consider it the atheist Bible. If you want to read a book that'll give you faith, that'll give you wisdom, that'll tell you things that you would normally learn in church, read this. It's a great book. And if you have read it, you'll probably be telling me it's not one book, it's 5. And you're right, it is 5, but it's going to be 6. It will be. Ian Colfer, the author of Artemis Fowl, will be writing And Another Thing, the 6th and final installment of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Just pray with me he doesn't screw it up. We shall start my series of videos of discussing Douglas Adams' logic and philosophy by talking about my favorite of his creations, the Babelfish. The Babelfish, said the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy quietly, is small, yellow, and leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe. It feeds on brainwave energy received not from its own character, but from those around it. It absorbs all unconscious mental frequencies from this brainwave energy to nourish itself with. It then excretes into the mind of its carrier a telepathic matrix formed by combining the conscious thought frequencies with the nerve signals picked up from the speech centers of the brain which has supplied them. The practical upshot of all of that is if you stick a babelfish in your ear, you can instantly understand anything said to you in any form of language. The speech patterns you actually hear decode the brainwave matrix which has been fed into your mind by the babelfish. Now, it's such a bizarrely improbable coincidence that something so mind-bogglingly useful could have evolved purely by chance that some thinkers have chosen to see it as a final and clinching proof of the non-existence of God. The argument goes something like this. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. But, says man, the Babelfish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It proves you exist, and so therefore, by your own arguments, you don't. QED. Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Oh, that was easy, says man, and for an encore goes on to prove that black is white and gets himself killed on the next zebra crossing. Most theologians claim that this argument is a load of dingo's kidneys, but that didn't stop Ulan Kulufin making a small fortune when he used it as the central theme of his best-selling book. Well, that about wraps it up for God. Meanwhile, the poor Babelfish, by effectively removing all barriers to communication between different races and cultures, has caused more and bloodier wars than anything else in the history of creation. Now, this is quoted word for word on page 42 of The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, remember, 42, if you have read the book, is a very, very significant number. And if you haven't read the book, I'll be getting into that later. But for right now, this is under a section of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy called God, the non-existence of. However, the title of this video is God, the arguable existence of, because of the argument that I'm about to start of it. Now, they call me crazy for not believing in God. They call me crazy for not having faith. They call me crazy for ignoring everything that everybody has ever told me that was what they called the truth. However, I called them crazy for believing in an infinite and omnipotent being that lives in the clouds. But why should I just harp on his existence when there are so many other things to pick on when it comes to God? Such as the loving God, vengeful God. For one, clouds are beautiful. Clouds are the ideal image of heaven, and they're also really, really strange. We get rain from them, we get thunder, we get lightning, we get all sorts of things from the clouds. Homes are destroyed by lightning, which is done by God. And water is, if you think about it, water is replenished from clouds also, which you could say is done by God. But if you want to say it like that, then my cat died because of God. George W. Bush was elected because of God, and you can thank him for that. Go ahead. Say what you want. It's out there. For me, I believe what a lot of people have said, but I'm claiming it as my own idea. I believe that we call him God and say he does everything and it's all part of his plan because we need something to blame. And when they say, no, God is good, God is good, then the devil does it. Satan did it. Satan did it. Satan knocked down the Twin Towers. So, without God, where would Satan be? There'd probably be no Satan. It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? We just needed something to blame, and also we needed something to thank. We had to give credit to somebody, and we couldn't give it to ourselves. We just couldn't. We couldn't take credit for nature. We couldn't possibly consider the fact that they were there millions of years. We can't just say, oh, trees are there because they've always been there. We just have to say trees are there because God put them there. Why can't we just say they're there because they're there? Why can't we give credit to something else? I want to give credit to a grilled cheese sandwich. I want to give credit to a broken bottle, a flat tire. I give credit to whatever the hell I want. You give credit to God. Can we all just get along? Which leads me to the next point of my argument. Religious intolerance. Big one. Ever since 9/11, people have been talking down to the Muslims and the Iraqis, Iranians, or whatever country they're from. Not like I'm stupid, it's just that I don't want to give credit to everybody. But they're talking to them like they worship the devil. That is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard. It's almost as if there's no neutral ground for religion. It's either God or Satan. God or Satan. You're with God? You're not with God? Oh, then you're with Satan. Unfortunately, I have to wrap this up because if I go any longer, I'm going to end up over the 10 minutes. In fact, this is my second recording of this entire thing, really, because the first time it ran about 15 minutes, and I don't feel like splitting it into 2 videos. So I'm just going to wrap it up here right now, saying that, God only exists to you if you believe he exists. If you're like me, then God is not worth crap. Goodbye, everybody.